is a game away from the American League Championship Series. Next stop, Fenway. Lots of Sunday rain washed out Game 3 of this ALDS, but on Monday, clear, cool, crisp, autumn evening as the Boston Red Sox try to keep their season alive against the Cleveland Indians. Tonight's 2016 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Iconic Fenway Park, the site for Game 3 between the Indians and the Red Sox, with Cleveland up 2-0. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Ron Darling. Partner, let me say this. I don't know if even the most ardent Indians fan thought that they would be watching this series move to Game 3 with Cleveland in position to sweep, but they've played just great baseball.
You know, I think when Cleveland lost two of their starters, Daniel Salazar and Carlos Carrasco, they thought there was no way they were going to be able to compete with the Boston Red Sox. You know what? Not only have they competed, they have been the best team by far.
Boston, meantime, all the talk about the big bats, quiet here through 2 games.
We spent the entire year with the baton being passed from David Ortiz to the 3 Bs. They've driven in almost 300 runs during the regular season. They have driven in nothing during this series. And if Boston is going to get back in the series, they're going to have to pick up their game a huge notch.
Time now to play our nightly game of Where's Iron Man? Iron Man is not at dugout level tonight. He's in straightaway center field. Cal, what's the mindset you think for the Red Sox tonight?
Well, my mindset right now is I'm pretty cold out here. But I'll tell you about the Red Sox. I think 2 things actually favor them right now. The rain out kind of pushed those hard feelings of losses a little bit further away. That makes them feel a little bit better. Coming back home here to Fenway Park, a unique venue that they have the advantage here. It makes them feel comfortable. They can get back into their routines. But I will say, you can't play an elimination game in the mindset that it is an elimination game. You have to play it like you played every other game all year long. If they get back to doing that, the results come when they play well.
All right, thank you very much, Cal. Josh Tomlin, Clay Buchholz, former junior college teammates, your starting pitchers tonight. It's Game 3 at Fenway. First pitch next.
This 2016 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company and the exhilarating new Lincoln MKZ. By Sonic, flying over for buy one get one free boneless wings Monday through Thursday after 5 p.m. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Bank of America.
Getting ready to go here at Boston's Fenway Park. Game 3 of the ALDS. And before we do get it started, let's check in with the 4th member of our crew, Sam Ryan. Sam?
Hey, Ernie, well, you talked about yesterday's rain out a little bit earlier. Just how does that extra day of rest benefit each team? Well, for the Red Sox, John Farrell can now go to Rick Porcello, his 22-game winner for Game 4 tomorrow, should they get here. And for Porcello, his record here at Fenway Park, it is 13-1 this season. They're also hoping to slow the momentum of the Cleveland Indians. For the Indians, Josh Tomlin now goes into this start a full week of rest. The hitters, they're enjoying the extra day of rest. They say overall it helps them. And for the bullpen, you talked about that. You talked about Andrew Miller, 40 pitches in Game 1. He told me he was ready to go in Game 2 of this series, and for him it's 3 days of rest. He feels great. He said sometimes you worry about sharpness, but he's going to be ready to go at any point in this game, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. As we point out, Monday's weather, not an issue. 55 degrees, a little bit of wind. It's really calmed down a bit. It was fired up pretty good here mid-afternoon, and the forecast is clear here for Game 3. Let us take a look at the batting order for the Cleveland Indians. Carlos Santana back in the leadoff spot. Jason Kipnis has had a great series. He hits second. Then it's Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli, who got himself a ring with the Boston Red Sox, still looking for his first RBI of this series. He hits cleanup. Jose Ramirez in the 5-hole, and Lonnie Chisenhall, whose big 3-run homer off David Price was huge in game 2. Coco Crispin left. Tyler Naquin, the center fielder, and Roberto Perez, who has had a surprisingly solid series out of the 9-hole.
You know, when you think of Clay Buchholz, if you're a Red Sox fan, you feel like he's the most consistent, inconsistent pitcher of all time. He's a guy that has a no-hitter to his credit. He also has a record of 8-10 this year. But more importantly for Red Sox fans, he was much better down the stretch. His last 7 starts, 4-0 with a 2.63 ERA. Defensively behind Clay Buchholz, Benintendi in left field, Bradley Jr. and Betts, the youngsters, with Holt, Bogarts, the Gold Gloves of Pedroia, although he's had some trouble in this series. Hanley Ramirez at first, and Sandy Leon behind the plate. Interesting about Benintendi in left field, he's a youngster. One of the things about Fenway Park, if it's a high fly ball down the left field line, if it looks like it's going to go in the stands, it always blows back into the field. You have to know that. I'm sure Benintendi does.
Umpiring crew here for game 3. Tony Randazzo behind the plate. Paul Emmel makes the calls at first. Bill Miller is the crew chief at second. Vic Carapazza at third. And down the lines, Brian Knight in left and Phil Cuzzy down the right field line. So 2 games deep into this series. Indians 11 runs, 19 hits, no errors. Red Sox 4 runs, 13 hits and 1 error. Red Sox hitting 200 as a team, the Indians 297. So in the regular season, that was almost reversed. Boston out-hit Cleveland by about 100 points, team average, and that's been flipped here in this series.
You know, the last 6 postseason games that the Indians have played at Fenway, they've been outscored 71-30. 1-5 is their record. So this is that iconic place. That could wear on you a little bit if you're the opposing team.
The Indians only have 1 sweep in their postseason history. It came in 1995 in the American League Division Series, and it came against the Boston Red Sox. They're going to try to pull it off again tonight here in Fenway. Carlos Santana will lead it off. He's the designated hitter. 34 home runs and 87 runs batted in the regular campaign. He has yet to knock in a run through 2 games. And immediately the shift put on by John Farrell defensively for the Red Sox. Clay Buchholz, the starter, goes out of the stretch from pitch number 1. It's popped up. Brock Holt. That's blown into fair territory, and Santana will reach. Check that. It's Bogarts in the shift who couldn't handle it.
It's exactly what we were talking about before the game. If you hit a ball above the canopies here, this is one of the shortest, they don't have that third deck, it will blow back into play. And Bogarts, who plays so many games here, he didn't know.
Yeah, I was going to say he's the one that should know. That's the advantage of coming here, is that this ballpark is lower. The wind is blowing really hard. Where I'm sitting up here now, I can feel it in my face. So when the wind starts to take it above this little canopy, it blows it back pretty hard that way. He should know that.
Run everything out. Here's Jason Kipnis. That was it back.
That was a sloppy play all around. Watch Santana. It's a pop-up. You have to run these out. We've seen Francisco Lindor on a pop-up almost run to his dugout. You have to run these out. Not that he's going to make second base, but this is postseason big league baseball. Pick it up a notch, fellas.
Well, I say he has a chance to make second base on that play. You know, it's almost 99.9% of the time when the ball goes up that you're going to be out. And so you're not going to look bad, but it's that 1/100th or 1/10 of a percentage that is going to make you look bad. And that's in the playoffs here.
Kipnis 4 for 7 in the series. Has a home run and 3 runs batted in. And again, Buchholz throws over to keep Santana close.
I mean, the Red Sox have seen an unseemly error from Pedroia on a double play ball. Brock Holt dropped the ball at third where he could have turned 2. This pop-up, not Boston-like.
You could almost say that's a little case of the nerves. I wouldn't say that with Pedroia. He's been playing, but the other 2 guys, just maybe a little bit of a sense of trying to do too much, or just a little bit nervous and not thinking clearly about what are the possible plays. But that old saying is, what do I do when the ball's hit to me? You got to keep reminding yourself, no matter how long you play, so when it happens, you can react.
1 ball, 1 strike. Santana with a lead at first, and again, Buchholz throws over.
Yeah, this could have been a twilight issue as well. So he's looking up and he's looking. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. And again, that's another reminder. And this start time is a different start time. So in the twilight, if you take your eye off the ball blends in with the sky. And maybe that was the big issue, not necessarily him not knowing the wind.
The 1-1.
But I can tell you, when that happens to you, and it happens to all of us, once, but when it happens to you one time, every time you play in the twilight, you look around and start reminding all the infielders, hey, remember that twilight, because you don't want it ever to happen again. And who knows, maybe that's the first time it happened to Xander.
Kipnis waiting on Buchholz and a 1-2 pitch. And the count leaving 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buchholz 8-10, ERA 4.78. He pitched in 37 games. 21 of those were starts. There were a few different times this year where he came out of the bullpen for stretches.
And it seemed like he found his way in the bullpen. So I think that's why he's starting this game from the stretch.
Santana with a lead at first. Here comes the 2-2, and he struck him out.
We tend to forget sometimes that Clay Buchholz has as good as stuff as any right-hander in baseball. He's got 4 pitches, the good breaking ball, the fastball he throws 90 plus. That's his great changeup. He can also cut the fastball in on left-handed hitters.
When a pitcher pitches out of the stretch, when he goes to the bullpen, I always thought he was trying to eliminate some of the movement, and it was a mechanical issue. Many pitchers kind of get out of whack these days in their windup, and they just shortchange it. Is that the case with Clay?
Yeah, I think it was. He's always had some mechanical issues, Cal, that he's had to try to iron them out. And at times he's done that, but he's also had times where he loses it. So I think that's why right now he's trying to simplify things, just like a batting stance when you go through slumps.
I don't know about changing my batting stance.
You haven't today. Line drive, base hit, Lindor. Santana will hold up at second. 2 on with 1 out here in the first.
I really want to see Jackie Bradley throw because he's got such a great arm from this angle. I remember playing in the All-Star games and playing with the guys that have really good arms. Dave Winfield, for example, and you'd be in a cutout position and the ball would just kept carrying right through your chest to the to his target. Jackie Bradley has that kind of arm.
I mentioned before that Buchholz was so good down the stretch. Last 7 starts, 4-0. Those last 7, they were all pitched out of the stretch.
Here's Napoli, Indians cleanup hitter and former Red Sox. Turned on that. Sent it over the roof in foul territory.
The wind didn't stop that one from getting over the roof.
That's the only baseball that needed a T-pass here in Boston for the train. 14 home runs. That's a big number. 72 in the third innings for Clay.
The 0-1 misses outside, and the count even. Napoli with a 101 RBI season, first time over the century mark in his career, and looking for his first run batted into this series. Got a runner out there at second, Santana. 1-2.
I don't know about you, Cal, but I think it's imperative that Buchholz has got to get through this inning.
Well, absolutely. I was just thinking, you know, from a wear and tear standpoint, and is because of Xander not catching that first ball, you know, how many more pitches he'll have to throw, how hard he'll have to work in this first inning as a result of a play that wasn't made.
The 1-2 in the air to right. Betts is back and makes the play for the second out.
But if he gets out of this inning with that play that happens, that's going to be a big plus for him and the Red Sox. We used to always have an expression, you know, you had a long inning and maybe they'd score one, or maybe they have the bases loaded. You'd come in and say all that and just one, or all that and nothing. And it always seemed to give us a better lift in the course of that game in that particular at bat as well.
You know, you look at this Cleveland team, Santana and his great on-base percentage. Kipnis is excellent at second base. Lindor is going to be one of the great players. But Jose Ramirez might have been the MVP of this Cleveland Indians team this year, and he has a chance to do damage here.
Top 10 in the American League in hitting at .312. Hitting .571 in this series, and he too looking for his first run batted in. Buchholz to the plate.
Well, after that misplay by Xander Bogaerts, you and I were discussing before the game, this Boston crowd was very somber, very silent, very quiet, and they started to get it going until that play happened, and again, a little bit in their shell so far.
You know, looking out over Santana's shoulder here, you get a good chance to see how far he gets up on secondary lead. And he's got to be getting a little bit further and going on contact here, because you got guys in the outfield that can throw, and you have a short left field here. So in order to score on a base hit, you want to get the absolute best jump and the best secondary lead you can.
Well, we showed you what Ramirez does with RISP and his quadrants, all over 300 in every single quadrant. Ernie, he is outstanding with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Yeah, to the tune of 366. Trying to get the Indians on the board here in the first off Clay Buchholz. And that sails outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
This is really almost like a microcosm of this series, is that Ramirez in a big situation, very patient, waiting for the pitcher to come to him. Red Sox have been very impatient.
There's a strike, 3-1.
That's a great point, Ronnie. We always said you can be aggressively selective, and it seems like Cleveland has relaxed enough where they're recognizing the pitches, where Boston has not. They're chasing the balls in the dirt, and they're a little bit too aggressive without seeing where the pitch is.
Runners lead from first and second. On the ground to second. Pedroia gobbles it up and throws him out. Buchholz pitches around the misplayed pop-up. We head to the bottom of the first. And we head to the bottom half of the first here in Boston. Here's the Red Sox batting order. Pedroia, Holt, and Betts, 1, 2, 3. David Ortiz, you see 6 homers and 25 runs batted in his 20 elimination games in his career. Hanley Ramirez hits 5th, and it's Bogaerts, Benintendi, Sandy Leon behind the plate, and Jackie Bradley Jr., the center fielder, hits 9th against Josh Tomlin.
You know, they love their hat tricks here in Boston. Well, Tomlin is trying to pull his own hat trick. Pitched them into first place, the Cleveland Indians, on June 4th. They never fell out of first. He won last day of the season, which clinched them the home field advantage, and now he's trying to pitch to clinch the ALDS.
This is a guy who is around the plate all the time. Only averages 1 walk per 9 innings. That's the best mark in baseball. He also gives up a lot of home runs. 36 this year. Only Jared Weaver gave up more, and that was 37.
So you're saying I'm not safe out here? Straightaway center.
Pedroia reaches out and fouls it.
Usually in the postseason, we spend most of our time talking about 6'6" guys that throw 100 miles an hour. Josh Tomlin is not one of those guys. He is a guy that has a big heart. He pitches around the strike zone, doesn't walk anybody, doesn't beat himself. Just a great uber competitor.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Pedroia, and that just missed. 2-2. Ronnie, you see him on the far side of that rubber where he works.
Yes, right from the first base side, because he wants to own that outside corner to Pedroia, inside corner to left-handed hitters.
On the ground to third, Ramirez. 1 down.
Defensively behind Tomlin for the Indians as Coco Crisp gets to start. The rookie Tyler Naquin in center, and Chisenhall who had that big home run in game 2. Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Mike Napoli, who's made some amazing plays, and Roberto Perez. Mike Napoli's known as a guy, he hits home runs. It's like caveman baseball. He gets up there and just clubs the ball out of the ballpark. But he has 2 or 3 real fine plays so far in this series.
He had that diving stop the other day in game 2, and also the ball that went off his glove and right to Kipnis, and they still got the out at first. Brock Holt 4 for 8 in the series. And that breaking pitch over.
Yeah, so if I was watching from the dugout, that's about 3 or 4 times he's had real good command of the curveball. And so you always want to know that as a hitter, what breaking ball is he getting over the plate?
Quickly ahead of Holt, no balls and 2 strikes, and that sails way high. We talk about how few walks he gives up, and to illustrate the point, last time he walked anybody was August 25th. On the ground to second. Routine for Kipnis. 2 up and 2 down.
So now he's gotten 2 outs on a slow curveball to Pedroia. He was out front. There, Brock Holt took a little off the fastball with a changeup, gets him to pull that over to second for a 4-3. Just a very intelligent hitter, intelligent pitcher.
Yeah, 2 balls off the end of the bat. You want to stay out of the middle of the bat. Either jam them or make them be out front so far where they hit it on the end. 2 harmless ground balls.
We've made the point, and you heard the guys in the studio talking about it before the game. Buchholz and Tomlin, junior college teammates at Angelina College in Lufkin, Texas. Into right field, sinking, and then caught. Chisenhall makes the putout. 1 inning in the books here at Fenway. Playmakers presented by the all-new Chrysler Pacifica. Gotten some production out of the lower half of the order, had the Indians for the first 2 games. Perez, the catcher, and Lonnie Chisenhall, of course, with the bullet home run in game 2.
Remember, those were my 2 picks to click before we started the series.
Somehow that escapes me, but I'll take your word on it. Here is Chisenhall to lead it off against Buchholz in the second. Back to that story about junior college. So Buchholz shows up there at Angelina, wants to be the shortstop. Tomlin is the shortstop at the time, and Tomlin kept the job. So Buchholz did some pitching and playing right field for the Road Runners of Angelina College.
Wow, that's fantastic. Saw Tomlin take a couple of ground balls and said, I better learn how to spin the ball a little bit.
Yeah, they both pitched and played the field. Lufkin, Texas, also somebody else we've seen in the playoffs. Played high school ball there. Brandon Belt of the Giants.
You see Brock Holt moved over in between on the other side of second base from third base, keeping Xander Bogaerts in the same position that he normally looks at. It's one of the problems when you have a shift. It starts to put people in position that they're not used to, and you have to practice that position.
That didn't miss by much.
Fastball in, never came back. Good call by home plate umpire Tony Randazzo.
He was trying to come back, but it never came back all the way.
The 2-2 is lined off the glove of Brock Holt. Hit it into the shift, but hit it hard. And he's aboard to lead off the second.
Cal, best way to beat a shift? Hit the ball like a bullet.
Hit it hard. First line of defense is the pitching, by the way. He had a good break on that ball. Just not enough length. Couldn't stretch himself out far enough. Hit the end of the glove.
Now here's the veteran Coco Crisp. Started game 1 and starts here in game 3. Squared to bunt and took it. Strike 1.
Coco played 145 games for this Red Sox team in 07.
Coco was shaking his head there. He didn't think he pulled it back, did he? Looked like he did make an attempt at that bunt. But I can't be sure, you know, because I'm way, way, way far away from the hitter right now.
But, I mean, you're Cal Ripken Jr. You had a choice.
It's a good seat. I'm just playing with you. And the weather feels really good out here, too. I know I complained in the opening that it was cold, but it's not.
No balls and a strike. Here it comes. No balls and 2 strikes to Crisp, who came into this postseason with 31 games of playoff experience, and 20 of those came with the Red Sox. Part of that championship team in 07.
We've seen some really good curveballs early. Normally when the weather gets a little cool, that's one of the pitches that's hard to grip. They seem to be doing all right.
Chisenhall with a lead at first, and Crisp waiting on Buchholz. Ran it in and missed.
Well, that's the proper execution of that fastball. You would love to throw that on the inside corner and get a call, but it was the purpose with it. He got it inside, moved the feet of Crisp, and now that has opened up the plate to maybe going back to a changeup or curveball. Looks like the changeup.
In the air, center field. Jackie Bradley drifts back. 1 down. Well, we've got a second. Let's take in a nickel tour of Fenway Park. Iconic ballpark, and trying to take you left to right at the features of this ballpark. The oldest in the big league. So you got the monster, which is 37 feet high, 231 feet long, and wasn't really painted until 1947. You got the triangle out there in center field. That's where triples go. 420 at its deepest part, and then down the right field line, the Pesky pole, or Pesky's pole, named for the great Johnny Pesky. And some say it's 302 feet. Others say it's 100 feet. But it's the short porch out there in right field. Here's Tyler Naquin.
It's a beautiful thing if you're a right-hand hitter and you hit a weak fly ball down the right field line and it goes over that part. It's only about 290 feet down there, maybe 296.
See, the opinions vary.
Yes.
That's a nice cheap home run.
It's Media Guide 302.
302. I had it measured at 296, Ern.
I like your angle better.
I walked it off earlier.
So a nice sequence that Clay Buchholz has working right now. That fastball in for a strike, countered with the changeup right after that.
Yeah, when the changeup's down, it's really effective. He kind of hung one to Coco, left it up there, got away with it. But when it's down, it looks just like a good low fastball, and it just dies when they go to swing at it.
Naquin was 0 for 2 in game 1, 2 strikeouts. And he waits on an 0-2 from Clay Buchholz. Right off the end of the bat, stayed alive.
Only issue I had so many years ago in pitching with a changeup with a runner at first. You have the first baseman holding the runner on. Second baseman is playing at double play depth, and that opens up that hole. What are you going to do with a changeup if you're a hitter and you put it in play? You're going to pull it. If you pull it, it opens up that hole.
That's why it's even more important to locate that pitch down and away if you're going to throw it. And he has the kind of changeup that he can go down in the dirt and get a strikeout.
Strike 3 called. 2 down here in the second.
Well, that's the 4th time that Buchholz has gone inside against a left-handed hitter. He missed the first 2. He made both of them to Naquin for the first pitch for a strike and the last pitch to put Naquin away.
And that brings up Roberto Perez. Homered in the first postseason at bat of his career in game 1. A game in which he was the star for this Indians ball club. He was right in the middle of everything, offensively, defensively, on the base paths.
Yeah, he couldn't have had a more perfect game. He was all over the place.
Drew a couple of walks and scored a run in game 2.
I like the tag up from first to get into scoring position. That was my favorite.
Mine was his slide to get there.
Which I guarantee you was not his favorite part of it.
I didn't ask him whether he had abrasions all over his kneecaps.
Chisenhall with a lead at first. He singled to start the inning. There it was, game 1 of this series at Progressive Field. And he was just getting warm.
Usually warm night that night in Cleveland. The ball was just jumping out of Progressive Field. 6 solo home runs.
3 for each side in that opener. A ball and a strike.
Well, both pitchers have got their curveball working for strikes. Beautiful pitch there from Buchholz.
Yeah, Buchholz looks like he's in pretty good control. Good changeup, spotted fastball on the inside part to a lefty, and he's got a really good curveball tonight. Coming inside with a fastball right here, I think. Well, that's the high fastball.
Just overthrew it. Whenever you make a mistake when you're trying to come up and into a righty, if you're going to make a mistake, you want to make it up and in. Don't leave it out over the plate.
If the desire is to chase him out over the plate, you want it over the middle of the plate, because hitters won't chase the up and away, and they'll get out of the way on the up and in. If the hole is up, you want to make that pitch right down the middle. It's a risk, though. If you don't get it there, it could be hit.
The 2-2 is grounded to third. Holt will go the short way to Pedroia. And that'll do it for the Indians in the second. Stones presented by Jim Beam. Drink smart. David Ortiz has numbers through 20 seasons, and this his finale. The 541 home runs, 3 rings. And the multiple standing ovations, including the one he just got as he steps to the plate in the second. He's taken Tomlin deep 3 times in his last 7 at-bats against him. 3 for 17 career, and they've all left the park.
So he started 0 for 10, and then went 3 for 7.
There you go.
With 3 jacks.
Again, didn't know there would be math, but you are correct.
I just had him down 3 for 17. It almost feels like he's not hitting him real well, but now the way you put it, if he started off slow and he figured him out, he owns him right now.
Tried to check his swing, and they checked down there at third. Vic Carapazza says he didn't go.
See the shift there because Kipnis is so deep. Look at Napoli, a foot off the first base line. 3 feet.
These are pretty good ways from first base. So any ground ball, you want to make sure, for example, if you Lindor, who's over there playing more towards second base, he's got to give time for Napoli to get there.
I remember when I pitched against Pete Rose late in his career, you could not throw him a strike. I wonder if you're umpire at third, you wouldn't want to call him out on a check swing.
They check again. It's ball 4 to Big Poppy. And he is aboard.
Good call, Ronnie.
To lead off the second.
Well, the one thing I've noticed from Tomlin so far is that he had a horrible August. His ERA was 11.5. He threw a lot of cutters during that August stretch. He's gone back to his breaking ball, but it seems to be his theme tonight, even though it's early in the game. He wants to get these Red Sox hitters out with slow stuff.
So after not allowing a walk in his previous 7 games, 6 of those starts dating back to August 25th, he walks Ortiz to lead off the second. Here's Hanley Ramirez.
You got Napoli playing behind Big Ortiz. Big Poppy. No threat to steal. They're kind of going at it a little bit, joking around.
Former teammates.
He wants to let him know that he's right behind him, so he doesn't get too big of a lead.
It's like the debate last night. In the air to center field. Naquin makes the play, 1 down.
He's feeling for him, making sure. Where is he? Right behind you.
Well, Xander Bogaerts steps in.
I like that Napoli made sure that Tomlin knew that he was right behind him. He said, okay, I'm not there right now. Don't come over and make a quick throw to first. Just to remind you, I'm setting up behind him.
Bogaerts just 1 for 8 in the series. Boston Red Sox had a team meeting on Saturday after dropping the first 2. John Farrell said the message basically was this: what's in the past you can't do anything about. Let's move forward. And he thought his guys were a little tentative in game 2.
I think the first game they were a little overcharged, going out there trying to swing the bats, and then when you try to make an adjustment, maybe you go too far the other way.
And I also think you have to give a lot of credit sometimes to the starting pitcher. And Corey Kluber, when he's on, I don't care how good your offensive team is. He's that kind of pitcher that can just shut you down. But Boston in this series is 0 for their last 18 with men on.
Bogaerts a run producer in the regular season with 89 runs batted in. This one's to left and off the monster. And it's going to be a single. Poppy holds up at second. Best swing of the series for Xander Bogaerts. And they're at first and second.
It's like a little breaking ball that stays in, expecting it away, stays right on it, drills it off the bottom of the wall. Nice play by Coco. No chance for Big Papi to go to third.
That's one of those things, too, when you look at Coco Crisp and you see his history and playing with the Boston Red Sox, he knows that wall.
Yeah, I started to think always when we came in here, if we hit a ball off the wall, it was a single. If they hit a ball off the wall, it was a double. Coco's played that wall before.
Here's Andrew Benintendi.
Well, I know we're only early in the postseason. Benintendi, best shoes I've seen so far in the post. I know it's early.
Benintendi also homering in his first postseason at bat in Game 1. He hit number 9 in that game, moved up to the 7 hole, and he swings and misses 1-1. This guy's been so impressive in his rookie season.
Of all the Boston hitters, he was just so the ice water in his veins. Got the ball to a 3-1 count and delivered.
One-time College Player of the Year. Played 34 games with the Sox this season. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners lead from first and second, and Tomlin ahead 1-2.
So when you hit a home run on a fastball, you end up drawing a 1-0 changeup. 2 changeups in a row. That last one hung a little bit.
Noticed already in the second inning, a lot better swings by these Red Sox hitters on Tomlin.
Two and two.
The Indians have had 2 pitchers start a game in this series, Trevor Bauer and Josh Tomlin, who probably would not have started if it wasn't for the injury to Salazar and Carrasco. And here they are playing such a big part.
Got a win, or got nearly 5 innings out of Bauer, with Andrew Miller getting the win in Game 1. And then Kluber was Kluber in Game 2.
So we saw Big Papi get to second base in a pretty good time. His fastest on a double this year. But he's not getting a very big lead at all right now. Pretty much station to station from second base.
What was that? That StatCast number was like 8.9 seconds, and that when he legged out that double.
Right on.
Yeah.
He's not getting a very big lead right now, and really not getting much of a second there either.
The 2-2 slapped up the middle. Lindor takes it himself, and that is a dazzling play by the young Indian shortstop. The Giants, Game 3 of the NLDS tonight at 9:30 on FS1. Jake Arrieta, Madison Bumgarner. Giants trying to stay alive.
Bumgarner, Syndergaard in the last start. Bumgarner, Arrieta. It's not exactly like they're throwing the patsies at him, right?
No, exactly. We move to the top of the third here in Boston, and Carlos Santana, the Indians' leadoff hitter, will start things off, and he takes a strike, 0-1. How about the play Lindor made to end the inning, Cal?
Yeah, he just made it look easy. He of all the shortstops, and there's a lot of great ones out there, he has ease of range and his ease of movement. That footwork right there, he steps on the bag with his right foot and just whips the ball across as if you're coming in to make a play on a bunt. He just is very smooth, and he's got really good legs and easy range, which means he covers a lot of ground, and it doesn't look like he's covering a lot of ground. But I'd say he has the best range of all the shortstops.
No balls, 2 strikes as you look from the monster back toward the plate. And Buchholz works on Santana. 0-2. Ran it in and missed.
I love what Buchholz is doing so far. It's like the Indians have had their way in the first 2 games, and he is establishing a message. You're not going to be comfortable in that box as long as I'm out here pitching.
Again, Bogart's the only Red Sox on the left side. This goes to the right side. Rockholt throws him out, 1 down.
So that was a 5-3 on my card, Ernie?
You're absolutely right, Iron Man.
All right.
You can put a check mark by it to just make sure you know it was on the right side if you want.
Got it. Check.
There you go. And now scorekeeping tips with Ron Darling.
It doesn't feel right. Go there at second. He grounded to second that time. He didn't ground to third.
This conversation could go on for a long time and go nowhere. Here's Kipnis. Buchholz looks sharp. He has allowed 3 hits, but one of those was the botched pop-up by Bogaerts. And Santana hit the lead off the game. Tapped foul, 0-2.
Really kind of doing it with 3 pitches, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Fastball, hook, and changeup. And from a hitter's perspective, that changeup blowing away to a lefty and then coming in, you can't cover both of them. So you have to choose one or the other if you're hitting.
Two upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Ronnie, when you look at the body of work for Clay Buchholz and you go back to early on, and here's a guy who throws a no-hitter in his second big league start. Sometimes is that a double-edged sword? Sometimes does it set the bar so high that you feel like you have to live up to that kind of thing?
I don't know if it's that, as he strikes out Kipnis on that high fastball. I think what it is just that he had so much promise early. He still has great stuff. He's got a fastball 90 plus, an unbelievable curveball and changeup. He has all the ingredients to be a huge winner in this league, and it hasn't always turned out that way for him. His best year, he went 12-1, but only made 21 starts that year. John Farrell's played a big part, though, in his development and getting better, because he was on his way not to where he wanted to be.
There's Lindor. In the air, deep left. Keep your eye on it. That's off the monster. Lindor safe at second as the throw sails over the bag. But a 2-out double for Lindor. He's 2 out of 2.
To make all the plays, he can flat out rake, Cal.
Yeah, the ball's up out over the plate. Meant to spot it on the outside corner. Caught a big portion of the plate. And he's got enough power to take it off the green monster.
He does not hit the ball like a small man. Got some serious bat speed.
He plays carefree. He's always smiling, always moving around. He really enjoys the game. It's fun to watch him.
Here's Napoli. Way out in front, 0-1.
Good change up there, despite the numbers of Jose Ramirez, and we talked about it before. 2 outs, he's batting .366 with runners in scoring position. I think that Buchholz is going to be very careful with Napoli here.
There for a while it meant the first base is open, just don't give the hitter a chance to hit the ball. But there is a consideration of who is on the end deck circle and what the matchup is. Clay's got good stuff today, so he can mix his pitches in. Good changeup, good curveball, good fastball that he can elevate and hit the outside corner. So he's got a lot of weapons today.
Lindor with a lead at second. Napoli waiting on Clay Buchholz. And here's the 1-1.
There's the elevated fastball, 92 miles an hour right at the top end of the strike zone. That's Napoli's strength, though, so I'm not so sure that was the right place to go.
Grounded toward third. Brock Holt got him. Ramirez with the pick over there at first. We head to the bottom half of the third at Fenway, scoreless. Need to follow Bleacher Report on Instagram and get the coolest sports content before anybody else. Join millions of others and follow Bleacher Report on Instagram now. Bottom half of the third. Sandy Leon. Red Sox catcher steps in against Josh Tomlin. Saw Hanley stretch on this throw to end the top half of the third.
Nice pick. Got stuck there for a minute. I don't think he's hurt. He got up a little slow though.
Leon's 1 for 6 in the series. That one was a home run in game 1. And he looks at a called third for the first out. Moments ago, Sam Ryan with Indians manager Terry Francona.
Terry, I know you've said Josh's stuff isn't overpowering. What are we seeing tonight?
Well, he's commanding, which is good. I mean, when he's commanding, he's working ahead. You know, he throws his fastball in and the cutter off of that. That's exactly what he's doing.
Knowing that you have a well-rested bullpen, especially Andrew on 3 days rest now, could we see a little more of what we saw in game 1?
Well, we'd have to have a lead, and I mean, we obviously value our bullpen, as most teams do when you're winning. The idea is not to get your starter out too quick, but if you got a lead, you can bet you'll see the bullpen.
Okay, thanks a lot, Terry.
Thanks to Terry, Sam, Jackie Bradley at the plate. A ball and a strike. He has really struggled here in this ALDS. He's 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. One and two.
Boy, Tomlin is a strike throwing machine so far.
Tried to check his swing and did.
You know, there were 74 pitchers in baseball this year that threw over 140 innings. Tomlin was 71st out of those 74 with 17% swing and misses. What does that mean? Is that they just do not swing and miss. He has to outsmart you. He has to throw the ball to the corners, and he has to use the change of speed to be effective.
And he has a couple of different change of speeds. His curveball is a lot slower than a normal curveball, about 75 miles an hour, and that changeup is a really good changeup. So not only does he get you with the break of the ball on his curveball, it's a much slower pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And there's another strike 3 called.
So you don't have to swing and miss when you get the backwards K, when they take the called third strike.
When you're pitching like this is not checkers. This is like advanced chess, right? It just really has the hitters thinking one way and attacking them another. Mickey Callaway, one of the best in all the game, pitching coach for the Indians.
Has to like what he's seen so far out of the right-hander who faces Dustin Pedroia on the ground wide of third. Nice play, Ramirez, and guns him down. 1-2-3 inning as we head to the 4th at Fenway. Caps, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, and more. Celebrate your favorite team with the latest postseason gear at MLBshop.com. That's where Ron does all of his shopping. A view from the monster seats here at Fenway as we move to the top half of the 4th inning. Jose Ramirez, who made that sliding defensive play to end the 3rd, leads it off.
You can see why Ramirez has had such a great year. No shift. He can hit the ball to all fields.
Count even, a ball and a strike. It's Ramirez, Chisenhall, and Crisp. 5, 6, 7 hitters here in the 4th. just foul past first.
He's awful quick inside.
Never was there a more appropriate sign. Don't reach over that wall.
Sails high and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes to the very versatile Jose Ramirez. He can play third, he can play short, he can play outfield, and he's hit everywhere in the lineup for Terry Francona. He's the number 5 hitter tonight, leading it off here in the 4th.
Well, why has Ramirez been a player that seemingly has come out of nowhere? With 2 strikes last year, he was a 160 hitter, 275 hitter with 2 strikes this year.
We are due a payoff pitch, and here it comes on the ground and base hit in the right. Moments ago, Sam Ryan with Red Sox manager John Farrell.
John, could have been trouble early in the first in this one. What do you like from Clay?
You know, he was patient with trying to finish off some hitters. He used a full assortment of pitches. And we get a little bit of an oddity play to lead things off on Santana's fly ball. But, you know, he showed a lot of poise to make some pitches and eliminate any kind of damage.
Big picture, knowing what's at stake. I know you named Rick Game 4 for tomorrow. Who is available?
Everybody else. You know, that's, you know, we're all hands on deck kind of attitude right now. So that's got David Price available tonight. Obviously, Drew Pomerantz, Eddie Rodriguez if needed. So we'll see how this one continues to unfold.
Thanks, John.
Thanks to John Farrell. Sam Ryan going dugout to dugout down here at Fenway Park. Ramirez now 5 for 9 in this series. He's at first. And Chisenhall, who singled his first time, ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, we've seen some good base running and some bad base running in this series. In fact, Mike Napoli is the only stolen base in this series, but Ramirez 22 on the season.
Yeah, him leading off and getting on first base presents a number of challenges for the Red Sox.
Tried to sneak that breaking pitch in the back door, but missed. 2-0.
Yeah, you never know. Trying to hold them on messes your own rhythm off, and all of a sudden you fall behind the hitter at home plate. Speed can do that to a pitcher.
Ramirez edging away from first. And Chisenhall takes a strike. 2-1.
A lot of folks at home say to themselves, how can he take a fastball 2-0? That was a good take by Chisenhall. That ball is a little above where he likes it. Likes the ball down in the strike zone.
Yeah, Buchholz doesn't lift his leg up much. Not quite a slide step, but he's pretty quick to home plate, and he varies his times. Difficult to get a jump off of.
Yeah, you're right, Cal. He's only allowed 3 stolen bases all year long, but this is the first time in the game that you feel as though Buchholz is going to have to challenge Chisenhall.
And here comes the 3-1. Fooled him 3-2.
So when you say challenge, does that mean with a fastball?
No, I was absolutely wrong. I thought he was going to have to challenge him with a fastball. He went with the change.
That's when you're throwing the ball pretty good.
With the count 3-2, Brock Holt moves from third into the outfield grass on the right side.
I would suspect he's going to run on this pitch.
And there he goes, the 3-2 fouled at the plate.
There's always a distinction when you're asked to put yourself in motion on a 3-2. There's a chance he strikes out. You still want to get a good jump. You don't want to get picked off. You want to get a good jump because you want to start moving. But if it's a strikeout, you got to try to beat it down to second base.
That was interesting, Cal. Xander Bogaerts talked to Buchholz to cover third. If there is a steal of second, third will be unoccupied unless the pitcher covers it. Could steal second and third. Nice feet, good move.
Yeah, in the early days of the shift, people forgot about the responsibilities. And sometimes you would get a chance to get to second base and nobody would be covering third. So they could just take off and steal third.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Ramirez on the run. Fouled back.
Had a really good jump that time. He kind of timed it. He's starting to lean. He gets a good jump right there. I still like the idea when the runner looks in. There's a lot of runners that say they can't. That in order to steal the base, they got to focus just on second base. But it's a big advantage to know what happens at home plate. Whether it's a line drive or it's a pop-up, you get an early read, so you know what to do on the bases.
Not going this time, and the pitch gets away on ball 4. Ramirez will hang at second. 2 on, nobody out here in the 4th.
It wasn't that Ramirez wasn't going. He wanted to go, but his feet kind of got caught underneath him, kind of tripped himself.
And here's that changeup again that he couldn't quite command. But you're right, Ronnie. He was going to run, but once you slip like that, there's no point in keep going.
Well, the Indians have had a base runner in every inning now, and they've got him at first and second with nobody out.
They just need a lead and want a lead. And you usually wouldn't see this maybe in American League Baseball, but you have the right guy up at the right time. Coco Crisp, good bunter, guys on first and second with nobody out.
Meeting at the mound is over. The Red Sox defense getting together, and here is Crisp.
Well, this is one of those situations where you can put a play on first and second, no outs. You can decide who charges, who stays back, who covers which base. You want to be everybody on the same page. In the rotation, it looks like Hanley's coming in a little bit, and Brock's going to be staying back at third.
Crisp takes 1-0.
And Clay Buchholz would have the third base side of his responsibility.
Buchholz coming off the mound after that pitch, though, Cal, did not move an inch towards the third base line. It is completely Buchholz's responsibility, at least that pitch.
So if you take a peek around, if you're Coco, sometimes you get an indication of what bunt defense play is on. And pretty much I'd bunt this towards Buchholz.
Squaring and taking again, 2-0.
And a bunt play is not always designed to force the guy to third base. The biggest thing, and I learned this from Earl Weaver in my very first year, a successful bunt play is when you get an out. You would like to design a play to get the force out, but you don't want to leave without an out here.
There is action in the Red Sox bullpen as we play here in the top of the 4th. Buchholz behind 2-0, and Crisp swinging away.
Boy, I love that call by Terry Francona. You have Hanley Ramirez only, what, 80 feet away from the hitter Crisp, and gave him a shot. I wouldn't be surprised he goes back to the bunt.
Gulp.
Well, he had that side of the infield open for sure. Hanley was surprised by the swing. He's not aggressively charging, but he is starting from a shorter distance. It would be easy to pass down there.
Robbie Ross Jr., Joe Kelly loosening for the Red Sox. The 2-1. Crisp lays it down to Buchholz, who will go to first for the out. They move up to second and third.
Good bunt by Coco. Bunted it to the third base side.
I mean, just execution of perfection by Crisp. He took the 2 pitches out of the strike zone for a ball, had 1 swing, and then got it down, as you see Pedroia cover first base to catch the throw from Buchholz.
Here's Tyler Naquin. Naquin yet to put the ball in play in this series. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Situations are always difficult for rookie players. They want to do great things. They want to get that base hit to drive them in. Pitcher knows that. How does he counter it? By not throwing him strikes.
You want to convince yourself as a hitter the pressure is on the pitcher right now, not me.
Line drive, right field, base hit. That's going to get the Indians on the board. Chisenhall around third. And it's Cleveland 2-0. The rookie Naquin delivers a 2-run single.
So maybe Clay made a mistake by throwing a strike right there.
I'm not sure, Cal. I think that was a changeup.
Changeup or a curveball. Looks like it's got a breaking ball spin to it. It didn't get down to the dirt. Had the same sort of break as the other one did. Hangs over the plate a little bit, and bam, 2 RBIs.
The Red Sox were willing to concede the run. They had played the infield back with runners at second and third, and then Naquin delivers with the base hit to right. 2-0. Perez going the other way. Great stop by Pedroia, who throws him out.
Yeah, from this vantage point out here in center field, it looked like he wasn't going to be able to get to this. He really lays out and extends, catches it, makes a nice play to first.
Had no shot at the force at second. That ball was behind him. And he got the out.
How about he still looked at second base, and when he figured out he couldn't make the play there, got the out at first. Uniform dirty. It's official.
That might keep a big inning from becoming a huge inning as Santana steps in with a runner at second.
You know, Ronnie, I keep going back. We talked about that 3-1 changeup that he got over the plate. But that's a time that you can't afford to walk the hitter. You know, to make one first and second with Coco, because he puts him in a position where you're a real threat to score when you get to second and third and 1 out. Yeah. So the pitch selection there, even though he got the 3-1 changeup over, he ultimately walked him on a 3-2 changeup.
Got to look at Coco Crisp in the dugout, doing his part in this inning. Laid down the sacrifice bunt that put the runners in scoring position for the rookie Naquin, who picked up his first postseason hit, and it scored 2.
Gosh, Coco so late from the Oakland A's in the autumn of his career, and you'll always remember that bunt. Big play. Cleveland with runners in scoring position this series, 6 for 14.
Buchholz looks Naquin back.
You wouldn't think that with 2 outs and Santana up that Naquin would be stealing third, but Cleveland does it more than anyone in baseball.
Yeah, they look for the opportunity. A lot of times on the watch, how long it takes to get to home plate, they get a bigger lead, and they'll steal it with 2 outs.
A ball and 2 strikes to Carlos Santana.
Well, I mean, that's textbook. Put that right in the dictionary about how to bunt. And this is a reaction you don't see a lot in the American League. The love from your teammates after a successful sacrifice bunt.
Hey, what was that you just did?
How do you score that?
1 ball, 2 strikes. Santana waiting on Buchholz. 2-2.
Well, that was the first pitch that Buchholz thought was a strike inside, but I think Tony Randazzo has been outstanding. The ball does come back. Our strike zone, it said it stayed inside. Tony, one of the better umpires in all baseball.
Tyler Naquin with the lead at second. Carlos Santana waiting and fouls it back.
Sometimes you read the pitcher's lips when he says that there, I got to have that. Not always stand at home plate and go, why?
Because it's very important to us, Cal. It's a very important thing.
The ball is just a little off the plate.
You're so right. You know, I mean, that's the whole battle, isn't it, Cal? It's just that you're battling for the corners, and sometimes you set up a hitter in such a way that you know if you make that pitch, he's going to take it, he's not going to swing at it, and it'll be a strikeout. And you think you make it, umpire doesn't call it, and now there's another pitch that you have to make.
In the end, Ronnie, you almost made the pitch.
Almost is the key word. You're right.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 in for Cleveland here in the 4th.
It's another common hitter thing, the old bug in the eye with 2 strikes late. 50 degrees out, no bugs.
Your eyelash could have stuck though. Come on.
And he struck him out. But the Cleveland Indians on the board first. 2 runs on 2 hits. We head to the bottom half of the 4th. 2016 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Thanks a lot for being with us tonight here on TBS as we bring you Game 3 of this best of 5. Toronto Blue Jays are waiting for the winner of this series after making quick work of the Texas Rangers.
What a series and what a team they have up there, up north.
And what a finish to Game 3 with, as Brian Anderson described it, the Donaldson dash for the game winner. I'll tell you what, Josh Tomlin struck out 3 of the last 4 he's faced, looking. 8 home runs in that sweep for the Blue Jays. How do you like those runner in scoring position numbers? That will work against anybody.
We saw Edwin Encarnacion in the wild card. What a 3-run bomb that was. Toronto's starting pitchers last 21 games, that includes this postseason, against Texas, 1.99 ERA. That'll do it.
In the air to right field, Chisenhall took a couple of steps back and makes the play. Quickly 2 up and 2 down.
Well, you know, we spend a lot of time talking about, and Cal knows this better than anyone, when you're a pitcher and you get a couple of runs, you have to have a shutdown inning. His ERA, Tomlin, during the season is over 4, and he's facing his main nemesis right now.
He walked David Ortiz his first time. His first walk issued since August 25th. And again, you look at those walks per 9 innings. Just 1 is what Josh Tomlin averages, and that's the best mark in baseball. Big Papi had one idea right there.
I think with the backswing, he hit catcher Roberto Perez.
Yeah, totally by accident. That pitch was supposed to be in. He missed all the way to the other side of the plate. And here's the backswing. Nicks him on the top of the helmet.
That is a fair ball, gloved by Napoli. And that is another 1-2-3 inning for Josh Tomlin. 2-0 game. 4 innings in the books.
This 2016 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by the 2017 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Go from 0 to anywhere. And by Sonic. Flying over for buy one, get one free boneless wings Monday through Thursday after 5 p.m.
We head to the 5th here at Fenway Park. Remind me to tell you my Ted Williams story before this inning is over. Drew Pomerantz comes out of the Boston pen in relief of Clay Buchholz.
Well, he was great in game 1. Went 2 1/3 innings of relief for Rick Porcello. Struck out 5 and didn't give up a run.
Jason Kipnis happy to see Buchholz out of there. He had struck out twice against him.
I think we have to reiterate, with the loss of Salazar and Carrasco, you thought that the advantage for starting pitching would be with Boston. Their starters in 3 games now have gone 11 2/3 innings and have given up 12 runs with 4 home runs.
Meantime, the bullpen hasn't given up anything. ERA of 0 for the Boston pen.
Frank Cono talked about getting a lead. I was looking down at the Cleveland bullpen in between innings. It seemed like all of them were doing calisthenics down there.
Jack LaLanne school of getting ready, just in case.
Can you go a little more old school? Kipnis got the hat trick. Okay, so Ted Williams. Here's the Ted Williams story.
Okay.
When my dad, before he pitched for the Milwaukee Braves, he pitched for the Boston Braves. And they used to play a city series against the Boston Red Sox. They played it here at Fenway. And I was on the phone to my dad several years ago, my late father, Ernie Sr., and he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm watching BP over here at Fenway. He said, well, look out in right center field. See the bullpen? I said, yeah. He said, well, look up about 10 rows. I said, okay, I'm with you. And he said, Ted Williams hit a ball off there in the city series off of me once. And he said, and my manager, Billy Southworth, came out. And he said, don't worry about it, kid. He's hit him off better than you. My dad said, I didn't know exactly how to take that.
Exactly.
If it was supposed to be encouraging, it wasn't exactly.
There's a seat here now in right field that is painted a different color because it's where Ted hit a baseball. I've sat in the seat before. It's hard for me to believe he hit a ball that far, but it was Ted Williams. Now, one of the things that you have with these Indians, because of the switch hitters, while Buchholz was in there, all the hits were off with left-handed hitters. They have a lot of switch hitters. They get a lot of favorable matchups. Here, Lindor switching over to right-handed, hitting against Pomerantz.
Pomerantz, a big guy, 6'5", 240.
It's funny, when Pomerantz was pitching for the San Diego Padres, he started 17 games this year. Record wasn't great, but he pitched much better than that. He was very deliberate, very slow. Out of the bullpen, it's been completely different. He gets it and wings it.
Yeah, he was 8-7 with the Pods. Fine ERA of 2.47. The A's had traded him to San Diego, and then Padres turned around and traded him to Boston in July.
So, Ron, if he goes back to starting, do you think he'll keep up his pace from the bullpen?
I was thinking that that should definitely be one of the things he should take from this year being in the bullpen.
Little blooper to right, and Pedroia sticks with it. 2 down.
I know for you infielders, you love when the pitchers work quickly anyway.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes. When they're walking around the mound, it seems like you're thinking, come on. But it really does keep you on your toes, and it keeps you ready to make that quick first move. Sometimes you get back on your heels. Ball 1, ball 2, run to count to 3 and 2, walk around the mound, and you don't quite make a play. You don't quite get a jump on it.
See 3 Red Sox on the left side. Hanley Ramirez, the Lone Ranger, on the right side. Napoli 0 for 2 and takes outside. The 54th postseason game of Mike Napoli's career.
That was an up and in pitch. Mike Napoli didn't like it much. Looked like it was just out of the strike zone.
Foul past third, and we'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes to the Indians' first baseman.
Interesting to see a Pomeranz, who got a strike up and in, tries to do that again. Strength of Napoli. Sandy Leon changed the paint color of his fingernails.
Pomeranz comes out of the pen, strikes out 2 of the 3 he faces. Now we'll see if the Boston Red Sox can do anything with Josh Tomlin in the bottom of the 5th. As powered by Amazon Web Services, that diving play by Dustin Pedroia going nearly 15 miles an hour.
And 17.6 feet. Great crossover step. You're watching his footwork really closely. Very efficient. Crossover, covers a lot of ground. When the ball's hit hard, sometimes it reminds me of a soccer goalie standing at a penalty kick. You're standing in the middle there, and you got to cover 12 yards to your left and 12 yards to your right. Pedroia would have been a good goalie on that play.
But if he wasn't playing baseball, as Petey says, he would be a tennis player if he were not a professional baseball player.
Really?
Yeah. He says he's a serve and volley guy, which you don't normally see from a guy who's his size.
Does he realize the guys serve 130 miles an hour? That's the game now?
You think that matters to him?
No.
Hanley Ramirez leading it off in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Waves at that from Josh Tomlin, who has been impressive here in Game 3.
You know, Tomlin is not the biggest athlete as a pitcher. You know, we watch so many guys 6'5", 6'6", 230, 240. He's a smaller right-handed pitcher. So sometimes it really helps when he gets some extra time. There's a little more life on his fastball. This year, with 6 or more days rest, he's 5-0 ERA under 2. He's had 8 days before this start.
So what's his stats upon 8 days rest?
Right now, 4 scoreless.
In the air, right field, near the track, but very playable for Chisenhall. 1 down. Josh Tomlin has only allowed 2 base runners. Both of those came in the 2nd, and he was bailed out on a double play ball on a fine play by Lindor.
He has 3 strikeouts when Red Sox hitters have been looking. And when you're getting strikeouts like that and you don't have 95-mile-an-hour stuff, it's because you're setting up each hitter properly. And that's what he's done so far.
Here's the only guy with a hit off Tomlin, Xander Bogaerts.
I used to use that argument against the umpires, saying, okay, he doesn't have the best stuff in the world. How could he be getting called 3rd strikes? I'm glad they didn't use that back on me, the way you just used, that he's setting the hitter up properly.
Cal, I know you don't like pitchers, but you shouldn't make it so evident. They do serve a purpose.
Yes, they're the most important people on the team.
Boy, the sincerity just dripping off of you. There's a strike from Tomlin.
No, the starters are the most important.
2-1.
You took that as sarcasm?
Yes, they're the most important players on the team.
I really love that new bike you got me for Christmas.
Thanks for the shirt.
Guess it was in the delivery, I suppose.
The 2-1 line to center, base hit. 2 hits off Tomlin, both by Bogaerts. And here's Benintendi.
Well, he's had about the prettiest swing, of course, of all Red Sox hitters with 2 hits. Both bullets.
Yeah, and the timing of his front leg. You know, that's a timing mechanism for him. He was much softer. Picked it up and kind of hung it there for a minute. Recognized the pitch, put it down, and hit it. So much of hitting is timing. And he waited really well on the first breaking ball and then on that fastball.
There's a strike to Benintendi, who rounded into an inning-ending double play in the second. Lindor, the shortstop, shaded over toward the bag. And Benintendi hit it right at him his first time.
It was at this part of the game, in game 1, that Terry Francona started thinking towards Andrew Miller. Probably doesn't have to think that way here so far with Tomlin, because Tomlin has been, I think, more effective than Bauer was in game 1.
Thrown only 72 pitches to this point. Here comes number 73 in front of the plate.
But I'll bet he's inching a little closer to the phone right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, this ball was way in front of home plate with spin to it. Really nice controlled block.
Throw over. Almost had him leaning.
Well, Bogaerts had 13 stolen bases this year, so he has speed. So you got to keep him close. Almost got him napping.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to run though. Down 2-0. If you fall asleep over there and give it to him, yes, but I don't see him running right now.
The 1-1. In the air to left. Crisp goes back. And he'll have to play this one off the wall. Here comes the throw to the plate. He's going to be safe. Bogaerts beat the ramp, and the Red Sox are on the board.
High fly ball off the wall, and if you're on first base, you're wondering, is that got enough to get to the wall? Bogaerts runs almost immediately, gives him a chance to be waved home. This wasn't the best of relays right here. Good strong throw by Lindor, but he clearly beats it.
If Coco could have thrown a better ball to Lindor, he might have had a replay of what happened in game 1 in the first inning.
Now Benintendi, the runner at second, is the tying run. Sandy Leon took a called third strike his first time. Now this place is getting loud. On the corner.
Remember in game 1, Perez was able to reach back and get the knee of Brock Holt. But Xander Bogaerts calls himself safe.
Dan Otero getting loose in the Indians bullpen. The Red Sox have gotten through to Tomlin here in the 5th. Threatening for more.
After the home run by Sandy Leon in the first game, he has seen a steady diet of curveballs down and in.
No balls, 2 strikes to the Red Sox catcher. Nice block by Perez again. 1-2. Red Sox fans hoping that what once worked against Johnny Cueto in a wild card game might have some effect on Josh Tomlin here in this game.
Yeah, we got a good look at Bogaerts reading it right now because he wasn't sure whether it was going to get caught, and he just flashes his really good speed. But I'd like to see him get around second base a little bit more as he was viewing the ball off the wall. Wouldn't have been so close at home.
2-2 pitch, and he got him.
Just keeps throwing Sandy Leon that breaking ball. Can't lay off it. When you're throwing this pitch, when you're trying to get the strikeout, you envision bouncing the ball on the plate. Literally, that's what Tomlin did.
4th strikeout for Tomlin. 2nd time he's gotten Leon. And here's Bradley, who struck out his first time. He's 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts in the series. Benintendi, who doubled home the first run for Boston, still at second.
You know, Cal, I was thinking, what a send by third base coach Brian Butterfield. That could have been a disaster down 2 runs.
Yeah, that was a risk if he gets thrown out at home plate. They haven't scored a whole lot of runs, and it could have been also a momentum builder for them. But there's a timing when you get to third base that the third base coach uses. He's got a good view of when the ball's coming in, and normally per runner, he kind of figures out how close are you to third base when I got to make that decision. And Bogaerts has good speed, got to that position, and Butterfield just kept him going.
Jackie Bradley Jr. had the longest hitting streak in the American League this year at 29.
And Brian Butterfield all the way down there by the on-deck circle, or I guess that's the fungo circle they call it now. But him looking out, he had a good angle to see the throw. He didn't want to be moving. He wanted to be standing still so he could see that whole play develop and then make the decision. That's why he got so deep down there, to delay the decision and be able to be standing still when he was actually trying to use his eyes to make that send to home.
Hit on the ground to Napoli. He will win the race to the bag, and that'll do it for the Red Sox in the 5th, but they do get on the board. Andrew Benintendi, an extra base hit, scoring Bogaerts. It'll be tomorrow here at Fenway Park. It's either going to be a 2 or a 3, depending on the number of games being played tomorrow. So if the Cubs were to put away the Giants, coverage will begin at 2:30.
Send me a text, okay?
I'd just like to say this. Check local listings.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Ronnie. Okay. Hey, RJ, where are you? Strike to Ramirez. 1-1. Drew Pomerantz still in there for Boston, working in his second inning in relief of Clay Buchholz, who went 4 and allowed 2 runs. Switch hitting Ramirez turns around to hit him right-handed.
Making this decision on the last day to pitch Pomerantz out of the bullpen to get him ready for the bullpen in this series. He might be the best starter that they have, even though he's relieving.
Missed inside, 3-1. Ramirez started the rally in the 4th inning that netted the Indians 2 runs.
Steady diet of breaking balls, but he's going to have to come to the fastball this time.
He did. It was up high, and it's a leadoff walk for Ramirez here in the 6th. We are zipping right along here at Fenway.
Now, these are the numbers I'm talking about the starters so far in this series. Not one of these talented pitchers have been able to make it through 5 innings. The Indians have had a lot to do with that.
I'm sure Porcello and Price, they want to have a chance, a second chance in this series. They got to find a win somehow.
Chisenhall walked and scored a run in the 4th. In that 4th, Ramirez singled to lead it off, and then Chisenhall walked. Crisp laid down a sacrifice bunt to get him to 2nd and 3rd, and Tyler Naquin came up with his first postseason hit after striking out 3 times and knocked in a pair.
You know, we talked about the favorable at bats, 70% for the Indians, right-handed against left-handed pitching, left-handed against right-handed pitching, but it was Chisenhall against David Price with the 3-run home run, which was the key in Game 2.
There was that home run in Game 2. An absolute frozen rope off of the plexiglass in front of the cameraman out there in right field. A little known ground rule there at Progressive Field. The bunt up towards 2nd. Pedroia bare hands and throws him out.
You know, Pedroia is the best at anticipating that bunt. He knows it's his responsibility. He shortens up, and as soon as that comes, he goes right to the ball. Ramirez has to go to the bag. Nice play.
You know what's interesting, Cal, is that Pedroia had to slow up just a bit because he had to avoid the runner Ramirez, who was running to 2nd base.
He has a knack for that, and he just starts to sneak up. See him, he's coming. He's anticipating it, and you're right, he had to slow up to make that play. It makes it really routinely.
2nd sacrifice bunt laid down by the Indians in this game. First time it was Crisp, and the Indians made it pay off.
There's a lot of teams that can't defense that. First baseman want to go over there and make that play. The runner can beat the pitcher to the mound, to the first base bag. The second baseman has to take charge on that play, and Dustin does it better than anybody.
Here's Crisp, who's flied out. Moved the runners over with that sacrifice bunt in the 4th, so Naquin could knock him in. Pedroia right there on the bag as they try to keep him close, and that's fouled up toward 1st.
Well, that's one of those plays where Chisenhall is trying to bunt for a base hit, but because Pedroia makes the play, it's counted as a sacrifice. But that's 2 that they have in this game. The Red Sox had 8 all season long, so the Indians trying to play a little small ball here to try to increase their lead.
And Pedroia knows that he's got to keep him close at 2nd base.
That's Ramirez, who's the runner, and now they throw back.
And I always thought the best way is to put on pickoff plays.
I think you're right, Cal. Even if it's not a great pickoff play, it lets the runner know that you can throw.
Right. No stepping off and no faking, no saying back. You know, to try to do it. That seems to be sort of an ineffective way to do it. Put a pickoff play on and show them that you can execute it. Pomerantz is slow. You can see Xander's coming in saying, okay, you can't one look him. You can't look away and then pick your leg up. He almost had him right there.
And that's why Bogaerts came in. Ramirez, 9 stolen bases of third this season.
And many times the pitcher will look back at you, then take his head off and pause for a minute, then pick his leg up.
You know, it's funny. There's pitchers that are amazing at holding runners on at first base, especially left-handed pitchers, and they can't hold runners on at second at all.
So is it the pitcher just wants to pick up the target really quickly when he turns around? Because there is a little pause that almost gives you a clue that he's going home. Here's a look back. There's the head turn.
The 1-2. Drilled to left by Coco Crisp. Back toward that wall and gone. Coco Crisp haunts his old teammates with a 2-run bomb to left.
You never know what events are going to transpire when you pick up these veteran players late in the season to try to give you a boost, and something like this happens.
That's a high hanging curveball. Just stayed up really high, and Coco was all over it.
They're fired up in that Indians dugout with a 4-1 lead now. John Farrell on his way to the mound.
Mound visit by a shortstop, worried about a runner at second base, sometimes takes your mind off the most important thing, the hitter in the box.
And for the first time in this series, the Red Sox bullpen has been touched up for 2 runs here in the 6th. We'll be back at Fenway right after this. Damage here in the 6th inning. Just shot one over the monster for a 2-run homer and a 4-1 Cleveland lead.
Hasn't hit a home run since the ALDS in 12 when he was with Oakland.
Rajai Davis is going to pinch hit for Tyler Naquin against Joe Kelly. Yeah. Ronnie, you've been there before as a starting pitcher.
Well, you have an instant cheer, you're very excited, and then you sit down and go, uh-oh, I better throw up a 0.
You got to remember which dugout you're in, too. That's a low ceiling.
No balls and 2 strikes. Machine Gun Kelly, and more like the untouchables in this series. Faced 6 hitters. Has not allowed a hit. .53-footer. A ball and 2 strikes.
The Cleveland fans don't want to jinx you. 67-1 when leading by 3 runs, including this ALDS. That's the Major League best mark.
And the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Both those breaking balls a little bit too far out in front of home plate to get anyone fishing for it.
Another one in the dirt. 3-2.
Pretty sure this is a fastball, Ronnie. After those 3 breaking balls. Looked like he shook to a breaking ball, though.
In the air, shallow right. Pedroia back. And makes the play, 2 down.
That was a very hard breaking ball, 92, 93 miles an hour. Got that over on 3-2.
When you watch Joe Kelly as a starter, you'll see more of a larger breaking ball. Throws mostly out of the bullpen, 95 plus with that good slider cutter.
There's a lot of guys over the years that were starters that went into the bullpen that threw harder and just went to 2 pitches.
A strike to Roberto Perez, who's 0 for 2. Got robbed by Pedroia in the 4th on a diving play to his left. Joe Kelly tells the story about being a teenager and spending time umpiring Little League games. And in one instance, as a 15-year-old, he threw out a 40-year-old coach, told him to leave the ballpark. But he says that whole experience did give him a real appreciation for what these guys do at this level and how dialed in you have to be for every pitch of a ball game.
My father was an umpire when I was a kid. I would never go to the games. The things that are yelled at umpires, young kids shouldn't have to listen to.
Ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez started the inning with a walk. Coco Crisp unloaded a 2-run homer with 1 out. Tried to check his swing, and the count full.
Well, these check swings tonight have been a whole lot more under control, less jumpy. You know, the hitter getting out in front. He's still out in front a little bit, but I think he controls the bat head. Yeah, he doesn't break his wrist, doesn't get across home plate.
That was Paul Emmel. Yeah, Paul Emmel gave the safe sign over there, and so that's a full count with 2 down, 2 runs in here in the 6th.
Remember Pedroia's check swing to end the 1 game. He got out there a little bit too far. Stride got a little bit too far and couldn't control it, couldn't hang on.
Yeah, that's how game 1 ended, and he was hot with Phil Cuzzy, and then later apologized. Said Cuzzy had gotten it right. Again, the 3-2. Tapped up toward third. Brock Holt gloves and throws him out. And that'll do it for the Indians in the top half of the 6th, but not before they add to the lead. Coco Crisp goes deep, 4-1.
This 2016 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by new Wagner OEX. For stopping performance, it's the brake pad the top techs recommend. And by Charles Schwab.
Bottom of the 6th, and the Boston Red Sox at home fighting for their playoff lives, and now down 4-1 as Josh Tomlin faces the leadoff hitter Dustin Pedroia. Rajai Davis stays in the game in center field.
Josh Tomlin is on a batter to batter pitching right here with Andrew Miller now in the bullpen.
Andrew Miller appeared in the 5th inning of game 1, worked a couple of frames, 40 pitches as the Indians took the opener. On the corner, a ball and 2 strikes to Pedroia, who's 0 for 2. Has twice grounded out to Ramirez at third, and is now 1 for 10 in the series. Into left field, leadoff base hit here in the 6th.
Well, the Red Sox were 1 for 29 with 2 strikes before, of course, it would be Dustin Pedroia who would stop that.
Oh, Lindor wanted that bad too. Pedroia made outs on curveballs the first 2 times up, and he wasn't going to make an out on that curveball. Drove it through the infield.
Terry Francona gestured for the left-hander before he even got to the third baseline. Big Andrew Miller on in relief in the 6th as the Indians try to clinch.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Tonight's reliever spotlight is presented by the Hartford. Andrew Miller in here in the 6th inning, well, the 4-1 game.
It's not only Miller, it's the rest of that Cleveland bullpen, which is outstanding. Miller might end up the biggest weapon in this postseason. Very interesting that Aaron Hill hitting for Brock Holt. Brock Holt was the first hitter that Miller faced when he came in game 1. What did Brock Holt do? Hit a double.
Aaron Hill making his first appearance of this series. And he bats with Pedroia at first. He led off with a single that chased Josh Tomlin, so he works 5+, gives up 4 hits, strikes out 4, walks 1, and of course the runner at first, Pedroia, his responsibility.
Did you see that pitch at 98 just a minute ago?
Yes, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
It seemed like he got some rest. I can't forget Francona talking about that 3rd time around the order. That's where he really wanted to use Miller.
Well, that's where I felt Josh Tomlin was. If he was out there as long as he didn't give up a hit, he did the Pedroia.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Tomlin did what Tomlin does. Only walked 1. Great control. And at this point has allowed only 1 run. But Pedroia is his at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Miller to the plate.
Good sharp breaking ball to go along with that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Somehow Hill laid off of that.
Payoff pitch. He struck him out.
I mean, imagine having the weapon of a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. You get to a 3-2 count, and you go back to the slider. Almost not fair.
Yeah, the hitter convinces himself, I'm back in the at-bat again. And down 3 runs, I'm going to get a fastball right here. And he throws him a sharp breaking ball.
Here's Mookie Betts. 1 for 8 in the series, and he looks at a strike.
See the flash on the screen that time? It went up to 99. He's feeling good right here.
You never know how a career is going to go. Andrew Miller was another #1 pick for the Tigers out of North Carolina. They thought he was going to be the next Randy Johnson, a starting pitcher. Struggled for a long time, and it really wasn't until he got here in Boston in 2011, 12, 13, 14 that he found his rhythm as a reliever.
Deep to left field, back toward that wall, and it's off the wall. Pedroia to third. He'll hold up there. They're at second and third.
I like Mookie's first 2 at-bats. He stayed on the ball and hit it to right field. He catches a breaking ball a little bit up. He bangs it off the wall for a double.
Tying run comes to the plate. Big moment. Big Poppy.
Ortiz with a flinch there. He struck out against Miller in game 1.
That at bat was a big overmatch at the time. That breaking ball starts inside Adam. Ortiz flinched, came back over the plate. I got to believe that Ortiz is going to have to hit a breaking ball here. As hard as it is to stay in when someone like Miller, lefty on lefty, Big Poppy can do it.
Checked his swing.
Check swing as well. Started the bat just a little bit, but held up. Is he thinking in his mind, I'm going to get a fastball, or I'm still waiting for that breaking ball? I got to believe breaking ball still.
The 2-1, line to center. Davis on, makes the catch. Here comes the throw to the plate. It'll be late. Pedroia scores, and it's 4-2. Boy, Ortiz hit that ball right on the screws, but Davis made the play in center.
Boy, Cal, I don't know if he sat on that breaking ball, but that's as good a swing as you're going to see by Big Poppy.
Yeah, he showed you why he hit so many home runs and drives them in. He was sitting on that breaking ball and just a little bit unlucky lining it out. Davis made a nice running play. Used every bit of the glove from the heel all the way to the end to catch that ball.
Remember, Davis just came in this inning after pinch hitting for defense.
First RBI of this series for David Ortiz, and it makes it a 4-2 game. That run charged to Tomlin. Close the book on him, allowing 2 runs in 5+ innings. Here's Hanley Ramirez.
Interesting, we spent a lot of time talking about Miller getting all this rest. Well, his slider has not been as sharp as it was in game 1, and his fastball command has not been as great.
Yes, velocity's up a little bit, but the command is down.
Tied him up. All in a strike.
Remember in game 1, it took him a while too. He got behind Brock Holt. 2-0 before Holt hit that double.
The 1-1 pitch. We're near 2 balls and a strike. Pedroia led off with a single off Tomlin. Terry Francona went to the pin, brought on Miller, who struck out Aaron Hill. Betts doubled off the wall. And Ortiz with a line drive to center at sacrifice fly made it a 4-2 game. Ramirez is 0 for 2, and he waves at it 2-2.
Miller seems to be using the fastball to Hanley just to set him up for the breaking ball.
Well, as far as power is concerned, Hanley was the best of all the Red Sox coming down the stretch. 14 home runs after August 27th.
A little trouble getting the right sign. They're using a sequence of signs with the guy on second base.
And he struck him out to end the inning, but the Boston Red Sox score 1. They're down 2 as we head to the 7th. This upcoming schedule presented by Infinity. Empower the drive. We need a game 4. It'll be tomorrow here on TBS. And if we need a game 5, it'll be back in Cleveland on Wednesday. The ALCS beginning on Friday here on TBS. Toronto Blue Jays having swept Texas. No, they're in. Waiting to see if it's going to be the Red Sox or the Indians. Carlos Santana leading it off here in the 7th against Joe Kelly.
Funny, Aaron Hill is new third baseman, but his first position is to play second base as he comes in. Shift is on.
It's interesting how some second basemen, Holt played up there on the grass. Aaron Hill plays a little, up on the dirt. Aaron Hill plays a little bit more at the edge of the grass. You don't want to get caught in between hop that hits the grass and the dirt at the same time. So either you want to play deeper or you want to play a little shallower.
Santana 1 for 3 as he leads off the 7th. Big cut, came up empty 1 and 2. That one hit ruled a hit. It was a first inning pop-up that Bogarts could not corral. It fell into fair territory. Did not result in a run in the first. He's also grounded out and struck out. The 1-2 from Kelly. Ernie Johnson, Ron Darling here in the booth. And there's the Iron Man.
It's a good view. Where are you guys?
We're in the traditional spot. Two high and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Indians lead it 4-2.
That's not for the color analyst, is it?
That was very good there, Iron Man. Missed again, count full.
A little premature to worry about the post-game interview, so hold up.
Maybe it's for luck.
There you go.
On the first base line, look at Hanley Ramirez, says, I'll take this. Casey Stern standing by in Atlanta. What's up, Case? So the Dodgers go to D.C. and take game 1. Nats respond with 2 straight. And now they're on the brink of moving on. Here's Jason Kipnis. Been a rough night, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. Came into this game 4 for 7 with a home run and 3 RBIs in the series. Buchholz and Pomerantz have held him in check, and now Joe Kelly trying to do the same.
Joe Kelly effectively pitching backwards. He has a 98, 99 mile-an-hour fastball. Within 1-0, 3-2 counts, he's gone to the breaking ball. One in, fastball in. Nice glow in the dark nails.
That's too tight. 2 balls and 1 strike.
See if the pattern stays there. Fastball in.
.28-year-old Joe Kelly into the wind. And that's popped up behind second. Pedroia's got to stick with it. See, there's a little wind out there that's moving that ball around, and Pedroia made the play.
Is it just me, or has Pedroia made every play tonight for the Red Sox?
That was a good ball to see that it was moving around. Out here you can see the wind catch it a little bit and push it. Pedroia didn't take his eye off of it and kept backing up.
Francisco Lindor is 2 for 3 as he stands in here in the 7th. Cleveland on top, 4-2. A win away from advancing to the American League Championship Series. All the way to the screen, 1-0.
That's the curveball. He's been throwing a 93 mile-an-hour slider or cutter. Had a lot of spin on it. That was an attempt at a curveball, went straight in the ground.
Lindor has improved himself all the way around. Made quite a splash when he came up last year, but has reduced his errors at shortstop. Best pitchers in the game he hits 400 off of. What a future.
He's all of 22. Runner up to Carlos Correa last year in the Rookie of the Year balloting. Foul ball hit the top of the roof and then bounced back into the seats behind the Indians dugout. Born in Puerto Rico, went to high school in Florida, and has a home in the major leagues. Just stayed alive. Indians with 2 runs in the 4th, 2 more in the 6th. Red Sox with single runs in the 5th and 6th. 4-2 in the 7th. Coco Crisp, big 2-run homer against his former team.
And a big sacrifice bunt to set up the other 2.
Without question. Lindor goes down swinging. Joe Kelly stays hot. Tonight's game summary is presented by Geico. Josh Tomlin, the starter for the Indians. Clay Buchholz, the starter for Boston. Former junior college teammates, no longer around for this one, but Josh Tomlin, a great start, and Cleveland with the lead now in the bottom of the 7th, Ronnie.
Well, I think that's really the key, is that Boston has not gotten great starting pitching in this series. Tomlin was outstanding tonight. But a guy they acquire at the very last second from the Oakland A's, an ex-Red Sox, Coco Crisp, with a big 2-run home run.
Just his second postseason home run in 33 postseason games, but it is the difference tonight. And we move to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Andrew Miller facing the Red Sox, who now down to their last 9 outs in their season if they can't come back.
You know, I really think that Andrew Miller, if the Cleveland Indians advance, is going to be the biggest weapon out there, because he's like a hybrid. He can close the game. He can come in the 5th inning. He can give you 2+ innings to get the ball to their closer, Cody Allen.
So Ronnie, how many of the 9 outs is Miller going to get?
Boy, you know, I think it's going to end up again just like the last game, Cal. I think there's about a 40-pitch window for him to work with, and that's how many outs he's going to be allowed to get. The only issue you have now, because of yesterday's rainout, is that you're going to be playing every day. No days for Miller to rest. So if he does go 40 pitches, it's going to be difficult to bring him back tomorrow.
So that's something Francona's got to keep in mind.
That's right.
You know, do you go for it right now and push him all the way, and then handcuff yourself a little bit if the games go till tomorrow and the next day?
I think Francona's told us, you get a lead, I'm pushing for it right now. He knows how hard it is to win in this ballpark.
Xavier Bogaerts leads it off in the bottom half of the 7th inning. He's 2 out of 2 and has scored a run. On the ground to second. Kipnis throws him out, 1 down. So Miller threw 18 pitches in his first inning of work. And he gets Bogaerts quickly here in the 7th. John Farrell going to go to the bench. And Chris Young will pinch hit for Andrew Benintendi.
Remember, Cal, not only did Miller go 40 pitches, but Cody Allen went 40 pitches in that first game.
This is Young's first appearance of this series. Earlier we saw Aaron Hill for the first time. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Young played in 76 games, hit .276, 9 home runs and 24 runs batted in.
Steady diet of breaking balls here. Here comes the fastball.
It's 3-1.
Seems like he has more command of the breaking ball right now than he does the fastball.
Danced out of the way, but it's strike 2.
He did catch a fastball there, but right on the inside corner. Good numbers against Miller, and this year batted .329 versus left-handed pitching.
And he draws a 1-out walk.
Good at bat right there, laying off the tough 3-2 breaking ball. saw it very well.
Cal, almost the same pitch he threw to Aaron Hill that Aaron Hill struck out on.
And that base on balls brings the tying run to the plate. Sandy Leon, who has struck out twice. One's looking, one's swinging.
Strike zone had that inside. That looked like a pretty good pitch. Breaking across the plate.
That's inside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Terry Francona went to Andrew Miller after Dustin Pedroia led off the 6th with a single. Mookie Betts hit a ball off the wall. Runners were at second and third, and Ortiz with a sacrifice fly made it 4-2. That's where we stand here in the 7th.
Just like a young, the switch hitting Leon, 373 average versus left-handed pitching.
Chris Young, the pinch hitter who walked, still trying to stretch it out and get loose over there on a cool night here in Boston.
29 pitches already, only 15 of them for strikes.
The 2-1 over for a strike. Count even with Young at first and 1 down.
I got to believe this is his last inning. I don't think he'll extend it much more.
Sitting on 31 pitches with 2 more outs to get in the 7th. 2-2 pitch. Hit to third. And Ramirez made the play, and Young alertly throws on the line drive and goes back to first.
Well, good at bat by Leon and better base running by Chris Young at first base.
Yeah, you absolutely cannot get doubled off on a line drive when you're down 2 runs.
What did your dad teach you? The flat foot lead?
Used to be the short flat foot lead. So you wouldn't take too much of a secondary lead. You wouldn't lean out there and get doubled off. There are times when you just can't get doubled off. And that was one of them.
I talked before the game, the baton has been passed. This franchise, as it moves forward, the 3 Bs are going to have to be the heroes. Bogarts has a hit, Betts has a hit, Bradley does not.
He's 0 for 2 and now 0 for 8 in the series. Another strikeout, 6 in the series, and quickly behind 0-2. Otero up again, joined by the workhorse Brian Shaw. The 0-2, and he struck him out on 3 pitches. Through 7 at Fenway. 4-2 Indians. Don't miss the Cubs and the Giants Game 3 of the NLDS tonight at 9:30 on FS1. It's 9 o'clock in the East right now. We're just moving to the 8th inning, so if you turn the channel, Iron Man's really going to be mad. Koji Uehara, the 4th Boston pitcher. He faces Mike Napoli. Chris Young, who came on in the 7th to pinch hit, is the new left fielder. And Napoli fouls it 1-1. There is Chris Young in left.
Uehara had a difficult first half, but a 0 ERA after the All-Star break.
Talk about Big Papi in his last season at the age of 40. Uehara, 41 years old. Had those 10 years in Japan.
Hey, Ronnie, I always thought the pitchers, when they came in when they're behind, you know, it was non-pressure innings. But right here in this situation, you got to keep it right where it is. The pressure's on the offense, but you can't let them score any more runs.
3-1 has popped up. Leon reaching into the camera well and can't make the play.
That was an out in the regular season.
I was going to say, Cal, yeah, they added that on the first and third base sides.
That's interesting too. They're lower than the normal railing, and when you lean into it, it kind of hits your leg a little lower and kind of throws you off balance.
Well, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Napoli. He's 0 for 3. Strike 3 called, 1 down.
Well-placed fastball right on that inside corner. And to answer your question, Cal, you're so right. I mean, in these games, especially an elimination game here for the Red Sox, it's just so important that Uehara does not allow another run. When you look at the Boston lineup, you got Pedroia leading off, Big Papi, of course, in that cleanup spot. If you want a historical finish to a game, you need a 0 here.
It's not a shutdown inning necessarily, but it is a shutdown inning.
Jose Ramirez has scored 2 of the Indian runs. This ball's hit pretty well to right. And what a catch by Mookie Betts, running away with his back to the plate. How'd that look to you out there, Cal?
That was some catch. I'm thinking there's advantages for being out here, but that was a perfect advantage of seeing him make a catch over his head. He shows how athletic he is by tracking the ball and catching it over his head. He covered a lot of ground. I didn't think he had a chance at that one.
Huge play by Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts goes all Dewey Evans on us. What a play.
That's one of those areas of the ballpark that has a lot more distance than you realize. It goes from the pesky pole all the way back, really steep. And Mookie knows that really well.
Well, John Farrell was talking to us, and he said one of the great things he enjoyed about this Red Sox team is that in the past you've seen a lot of kind of cumbersome, lumbersome kind of Red Sox team. This is a very athletic one.
Lonnie Chisenhall out in front, 2 balls and a strike. And that's a huge play by Betts. If he doesn't corral that, you've got Ramirez at least at second.
A double, potential triple, depending upon where the ball bounces. It looked like he turned on the jets, turned on the speed. And the ball carried a little bit too in that little gap. That's 380 feet away from home plate.
The 2-2 is tapped toward short. Bare hand play and great throw by Bogarts. A 1-2-3 inning for Koji Uehara. Still a 2-run game as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Tonight's 2016 American League Division Series coverage on TBS presented by T-Mobile. Nervous time at Fenway Park. Bottom of the 8th. Red Sox down 2. Top of the order.
Torey Lovullo and John Farrell trying to figure out these last 2 innings as Brian Shaw comes on for the Indians. That makes Shaw tough against the right-handed hitters. He's on that third base side of the rubber, throws across his body, kind of crossfire.
Misses with the first two. Shaw appeared in 75 games out of the Cleveland pen. Most of anybody in the American League, and has pitched in both games of this series. The 2-0 to Pedroia. There's a strike.
Shaw's the only reliever for the Indians that's given up a run. That run was a home run to Brock Holt, who no longer is in the game. Batted for last time up by Aaron Hill.
Count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a really hard cutter, Ronnie.
Oh,
95. Rule of cut action on it.
I mean, since 2013, he's appeared in 70, 80, 74, 75 games.
Went to the same high school in California as Randy Johnson. And he struck out Pedroia, looking for out number 1.
John Farrell's got to come and get Dustin before he gets thrown out of this game.
It looked like it might have been high enough. It's borderline right at the bottom. Strike zone has at the bottom of the strike zone.
I think that has to do as much with the call as it is with the frustration of the Red Sox in this series.
Perez presented it really well. Got down on one knee and caught it up.
Travis Shaw to pinch hit here in the 8th.
That's where the automatic line comes. That's the same pitch, Blue.
Perez is making himself really small. He's getting down on one knee trying to get that low pitch.
Again, Shaw behind the hitter.
Shaw played some third, some first, some outfield. 145 games and hit 16 home runs. Right side, past Kipnis into right field for a 1-out hit. Statcast powered by Amazon Web Services. This is the catch made by Mookie Betts in the top half of the 8th. Now he comes to the plate, and he's the tying run in a 4-2 game.
I liked his at-bats tonight. You know, went to right field the first couple times. Got a base hit the last time. He seems like he's got his timing down a little bit.
The MVP chant for the guy who's certainly in that conversation. So's the guy on deck, Big Papi. Ryan Shaw misses as he nibbled at the corner. 2-0.
Betts has gotten better every year in the home run department. Limited time in 2014, 5 home runs. 18 in 2015, 31 this past summer.
A bullet to third. Ramirez diving stop. Gets the force at second. What a play.
Cleveland's flashing the leather.
Whoa. That was a rocket to third.
2-0 bullet. Dives on the backhand, turns around. Nice play right there, just to take one, not try to get a double play out of that. Catches it right in the end of the glove.
That's going to be all for Brian Shaw. Cody Allen gets the call. We'll be back.
Designated hitter, number 34.
Big Papi in his swan song season. And we've said it before, big moment, Big Papi, bottom of the 8th. He represents the tying run in what could be his last at bat.
Yeah. Well, Cody Allen, the closer, in for the 4-out save. Big Papi 2 for 6 lifetime off Allen. No home runs.
Mookie Betts the runner at first on a fielder's choice. 1-0. Look at this Indian shift. Jason Kipnis is nearly at Pesky's pole. He is in deep into right field.
Yeah, it looked like David Ortiz picked his leg up a little bit higher that time. He was all ready for that first one, just a bit high.
Snap throw to first. Perez trying to catch Betts wandering off the bag.
Both these catchers love to show off their arms. Last 32 postseason at bats for David Ortiz, 6 home runs.
Long ball here, ties it. 3-0.
Pretty sure he's going to be swinging here.
If there ever was a time to swing 3-0.
This is it. 2-0 slider, though. Got to sit dead red and hope to get it.
There's a strike, 3-1.
No, that was a ball, I think.
Ball 4. Right you are, Cal. You called it from center field.
I was just looking at Papi's reaction. I think he wanted to say, no, didn't you mean to call that a strike? I want to swing.
Yeah. Well, we came into this series talking about the depth and length of this Red Sox lineup. It hasn't proven to be true in the first 2 games. But how do you pick your poison? Allen decided not to go after Ortiz, and he's trying to pump up everyone. Maybe Ramirez comes through.
The tying run is at first in the person of Big Papi. Betts and Ortiz at second and first for Hanley Ramirez. Cody Allen to the plate. 1-0.
That's a small sample size. Again, August 27th. Since then, 14 home runs from Hanley Ramirez.
Oh, 2-0.
Closing out game 1. A little different than closing out a series in Fenway Park.
Well hit, base hit to left. Betts around third, he will score. It's a 1-run game.
Well, at some point, Shaw had to throw a strike. He came into Ramirez and luckily kept it down enough because Hanley jumped all over it and hit a bullet to left field. Mookie, great speed, scores easily.
Yeah, you wondered if they're going to pinch run for Big Papi at first base, but once he got to second, they're going to take a chance on scoring him right here.
The roar from the Fenway faithful for Ortiz. Lifted for a pinch runner, Marco Hernandez. Michael Martinez now in center field. For the Indians, Rajai Davis moves from center to left. It's a 4-3 game. Tying run at second for Xander Bogaerts. He's 2 for 3 and has scored a run. In the dirt, Perez smothered it.
Boy, some real nervous pitching from Allen since he's taken the mound.
Yeah, you can feel a shift. The Red Sox hitters are more patient. They're getting ahead in the count. And when they get a pitch to hit, they're not trying to hit a 5-run homer. They're trying to just hit the ball hard.
Breaking pitch over, a ball and a strike. Hanley Ramirez with a run-scoring single has cut the gap to 1.
You can't help but wonder what would have happened if Betts' ball would have got through.
No kidding. One ball and 2 strikes.
You know, it's interesting, especially with 2 strikes here. Remember, it was Marco Hernandez who ran for David Ortiz earlier in the series, and afterwards came in and Ortiz gave him a tutorial on how to get a better secondary lead to score. Well, he's doing it now.
That was in game 1 after Ortiz had legged out the double in 8.9 seconds. Bogaerts waiting.
It's really great. 2 outs, 2 strikes. You're going on the swing. If you're the runner, you see him start to swing and get a little extra jump. Got a good jump on that swing.
Another tutorial.
And the Red Sox fans hoping that's not the last they see of David Ortiz in his spectacular career.
2 outs, 2 strikes. Your only read is the swing. Get a good jump.
Line drive into the glove of Kipnis. And that does it for the Red Sox in the 8th. They score once. It's 4-3. We head to the 9th. Always stay connected to the game they love. Show us how you're baseball's #1 fan by using #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and other epic prizes. We go to the 9th. Craig Kimbrell on and facing Michael Martinez, who takes a cut at the first one and fouls it back.
Well, you see the numbers on Kimbrell of this season: 57 games, only 2 blown saves. 30 walks in 53 innings. Unusually large number for Craig.
Martinez shortened up as if to bunt and took it. 0-2.
Remember, Kimbrel came in game 2, just faced one hitter and struck him out just to hone those mechanics, see if they work here in the top of the 9th.
Fastball, big slurby breaking ball. Fastball can run up close to 100.
Travis Shaw at third base. Remember, he won the position for Pablo Sandoval in spring training. Didn't hit enough.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Vic Carapazzo rang him up down there at third. 1 down.
I'll let you handle this one, Cal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he lost control of the bat head there. He was a little jumpy, like a lot of the Boston hitters were in the first couple games. He went way too far. Good call.
There's Rajai Davis. Kimbrel, the 5th Boston pitcher in this elimination game. Started by Clay Buchholz. Then Drew Pomeranz, Joe Kelly, Koji Uehara. And now Kimbrel trying to keep the Indians right where they are. Tied him up inside. 0-2.
The fastball had a lot of life on it, a lot of run. After starting him off with a breaking ball, the fastball got on him way quicker than he thought.
You know, a lot of credit has to go to the Braves, who made Kimbrel a reliever early in his career. Almost every organization in baseball, when you have a pitcher with this kind of talent, usually they try to make him a starter for as long as they can. Went right to relief and has done some historical things as a young reliever.
Tried to hold up but couldn't, and that's 2 up and 2 down for Craig Kimbrel. Stay tuned after the game for the postseason show on TBS, presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. Here's Roberto Perez. Looking ahead to the Boston half of the 9th. 7, 8, and 9 are due. Breaking pitch and a beauty. Perez is 0 for 3. Coco Crisp. Huge 2-run jack in this one. Foul territory. Leon. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the 9th. 1-run game.
This 2016 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by Charles Schwab, by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats. By T-Mobile One, welcome to unlimited baseball. And by the Blue Cash Everyday Card from American Express.
Tonight's 2016 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. We are heading to the bottom of the ninth here at Fenway Park. The Red Sox down 2-0 in the series. Down 4-3 in the game. Fighting for their playoff lives, and Big Papi, his night is done. Is his career.
Chris Young used mostly against left-handed pitching, only batted .246 off righties, but with 6 home runs.
Cody Allen threw 12 pitches in the 8th inning, but only 5 of them for strikes. Gave up the hit to Ramirez that made this a 1-run game. And quickly he jumps out ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Young came into the game in the 7th inning and drew a walk.
Cody Allen this season, no blown saves on the road.
This is not your garden variety road game.
We used to always say in a pressure situation like this, just need a base runner. Don't think about the home run. Don't think about being the hero. Work your way on. Have someone get on. Just one base runner. That's all you need.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Allen into the wind, and here it comes. In the air to left. Rajai Davis settles under it and makes the catch. 1 down.
Wind is playing with that fly ball, pushing it more towards center field.
And Young had a pitch to hit. Popped it up.
Here is Sandy Leon. He's 0 for 3 tonight, but did homer in game 1. Did he check his swing? As Vic Carapazza said, he didn't swing, so it's 1-0. Two balls and no strikes.
You got to make this your pitch. Look for one specific pitch in one specific spot. Turn it loose if you get it.
That's the one he liked, and he fouled it straight back. Nothing more Big Papi would like than to be in uniform again tomorrow for a game 4. Just inside, 3-1.
Like you said, Cal, just a base runner. And as miserable a series as Jackie Bradley Jr. has had, boy, wouldn't he love to come up with a man on.
Full count.
Seems like he's swinging a little too hard. Got to make sure it's a good pitch in the strike zone. This was a little bit better than the 2-0 pitch. Fouls it straight back into his glove.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Strike 3 call, 2 down.
Made the perfect pitch, Cal. Inside on the corner.
Yeah, it looks like it was going to start a little in. Stays right on the inside edge. They couldn't make a better pitch than that.
You know, Perez was sitting on that outside corner. That's where he wanted it. Reached across his body And he caught that inside corner.
The Indians are an out away. Jackie Bradley, 0 for 9 in the series, has struck out 7 times. He danced out of the way of that one. 1-0. And time called. And now we're ready to go.
Bradley Jr.'s got to remember, everyone wants to be a hero here. Just get on base. Got a pretty good hitter behind you.
Two 2-0. JBJ, Jackie Bradley Jr. The chant here at Fenway. Nowhere near 3-0.
Yeah, it seemed like he was taken all the way.
I don't think that's a bad play with Pedroia up next.
If you're swinging well,
right,
you got a chance to pop a ball at the ballpark, that's one thing. But right now, he hasn't been. Who's going to make him come in there in the strike zone?
Right down the middle, 3-1.
So if you're taking 2-0, you're taking 3-1.
No.
No, I think you got to look for a pitch.
Base hit. To get something more than that.
Cut through it, 3-2.
Really has been Jackie Bradley Jr.'s issue all series long. To me, in watching him, I see a bigger swing than I saw all season long.
Cody Allen to Jackie Bradley Jr. Line drive, right field, base hit. Bradley around first. Takes a big turn and will retreat. First hit of the series for Bradley, and it couldn't come at a better time for Boston.
He was thinking about 2 on that one. I think he made the right decision. Looked like he might have been dead at second base. He finally gets a fastball in the inside part, much shorter to the ball, and a bullet almost gets to the corner.
Good play all around. Right fielder Chisenhall with a one-hop strike to second base.
Top of the order, Dustin Pedroia. He's 1 for 4 tonight. 2 for 12 in the series. Tying run at first. Up high, 1-0.
Pedroia 1 for 5 in his lifetime off Allen. Remember, Pedroia's last at bat had words with Randazzo. Disagreed with the call. One more chance here.
Knocked in 74 runs this season. None in this series. The 1-0. In the air and out of play. A ball and a strike.
Cody Allen so far, his fastball has been up in the strike zone on the top part. No one hits a fastball high in the strike zone better than Pedroia, and it really is his power pitch here at Fenway Park.
Two and 1. There is nobody on this Boston team who embodies the grit and determination of the Red Sox like this guy. Jackie Bradley Jr. represents the tying run. He's leading from first. Pedroia takes high. 3-1.
Trying to keep it on the outside edge.
Terry Francona's favorite player, when he was the manager here for the Boston Red Sox? Dustin Pedroia.
And one of his best friends on the planet, the guy in the other dugout, John Farrell. 3 balls and 1 strike. And again, the Cleveland Indians are a strike away.
Ball 4, but again, that's the pitch that he's trying to think about. I don't want the ball up out over the plate. A little too high.
They were a strike away moments ago, and that's when Jackie Bradley Jr. singled to right.
Trying to go fastball away again.
The 3-2 with a runner going outside. Ball 4. 2 on with 2 out.
It was almost like in that at bat as Mickey Callaway comes out to talk to his closer. Like the 3-1 count, Cal, Pedroia said, I'm swinging no matter what, trying to hit it 400 feet, and then he went back to being a hitter at 3-2.
Yeah, convince yourself he's going to groove one.
You know, it hasn't been the season that Travis Shaw wanted, Ernie. Won the job at third base over Pablo Sandoval. Didn't really hit enough or field enough to keep that position. And here he is with a chance to make up for it all.
And his first at bat of this series in the 8th and single. He bats now with the tying run at second. The winning run at first. In a game the Red Sox must win to preserve their season. Breaking pitch misses. 1-0. Travis Shaw, homegrown product, drafted in 2011. What a huge spot with 2 on and 2 out. Bottom of the 9th. Is living and dying with every pitch here at Fenway. Nobody's sitting.
The hard part about this at bat is that you're trying to control your emotion and not get big. Stay short. Big swing, swinging and misses in hitters counts. Look for a pitch. Just put the barrel on it.
2 balls and a strike. Bradley with great wheels. He's at second. Pedroia at first.
Allen's already thrown 37 pitches.
Missed inside. 3-1.
Allen has been trying to be so precise, but you notice every time the ball is called away from Perez, he's not able to hit that spot. Holding on to it too long. Ends up inside.
Runners lead from first and second. The 3-1 from Allen. And again, a strike away.
Three and two outs. The runner's going to be moving. Can't fall for the inside move. Don't worry about getting a big jump. You'll score on a base hit.
Bradley and Pedroia the runners. Here it comes. Fly ball. Shallow right. Chisenhall. Cleveland wins. And the Indians are headed to the American League Championship Series. They have swept the Boston Red Sox. And you hear the crowd with the chant of Poppy. A career comes to an end while a season continues for the Indians as they head to take on Toronto.
What an amazing job by this Indians team. Come into this series without Danny Salazar, Carlos Carrasco. Kluber does his job. You could think that Andrew Miller could be the MVP of this series, the way he pitched in Game 1 and here in Game 3.
Sometimes you want to point out what the losing team did not do. But yeah, you want to point out what all the good things Cleveland Indians did.
Cleveland Indians 3 years ago, Cal, were one of the worst defensive teams in all of baseball. We saw tonight that has certainly changed.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Got to be a hard pill to swallow for one of the greatest players in the history of Red Sox baseball.
And he was really hoping to play tomorrow.
The Cleveland Indians, who secured the home field advantage for this series on the last day of the season. And they win the first two in Cleveland, and then it got progressively better because they came to Fenway and made it a 3-game sweep. Just the second time they've swept a postseason series, and the second time the Boston Red Sox the victim.
The winner of tonight's game, Josh Tomlin. He pitched them into first place on June 4th. They never fell out of first place. He won on the last day of the season, which clinched them home field. And now he wins as they clinch the ALDS.
And it's a former Red Sox, Coco Crisp, a huge 2-run homer in this one. And let's go down to the field. Sam Ryan.
Coco, the tension, the last few outs, everyone in the dugout watching this one, what was that like?
It's the playoffs. You know, we know we're playing against one of the best teams in the world, and they're not going to give up. You know, I've been on that other side over there, and I know how that fight is over there, and it was intense, a little nerve-wracking, exciting, and that's what this part of the season's all about.
Let's go back to your home run, your first postseason home run since 2012. You came over to this team at the end of August. Take me through that moment.
Well, after the first game, I figured that all they were trying to do is throw me off speed, and we're trying to come close with the fastball. And Palm struck me out with that curveball last time, and it's very sharp. You know, he just happened to just leave that one just a little bit more up than probably he wanted to. And I was sitting on off speed, and I just ended up connecting. It's a good feeling.
You talked about being on the other side. Last time you went to the ALCS was with this team over on the other side in 2008. Now you're back with these guys. How much fun are you guys having?
Oh, man, these kids over here bring a lot of energy in the clubhouse. And I'm so happy to be over here with these guys and be a part of what they've accomplished thus far. And hopefully I can help them move further on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Let the celebration begin in Cleveland. What a series by the Cleveland Indians. And I got to say, Ron, when you talk about pushing the right buttons, Tito Francona didn't miss.
Well, he told us exactly what he was going to do. And that was, as he wanted to make sure anytime they got a lead, he was going to go to that bullpen. And as soon as he got it, that is what he did. Francona, now when his team wins the first game of a postseason series, he is now, as a manager, 7-1 in those series.
And he had said heading into Game 3.
I've never seen him this happy. Don't forget, he's had some of the most amazing years in a Red Sox uniform. It did not end beautifully here for Terry Francona. He's very happy to win this game and the ALDS on this field.
And he had said coming into Game 3, now you have to play 3 days in a row because of the rain out. And you want to work that game with an eye on Games 4 and 5 if they're going to be played. He said, but if you do have the lead, you can't go assuming, well, we'll have a lead in Game 4 or we'll have a lead in Game 5 and I'll use him here. He went for it. He was all in, and Cleveland is all in with a sweep of the Boston Red Sox.
He knew he had to win game one. They did. And I think tonight, when watching this game and the way it came down at the very end, he fired all his bullets, and that's all he had. And they won the game.
Yeah, it's interesting listening to you guys talk. I was just thinking back to Coco's interview. It happens to all of us. He says it's so fun being over here with these kids, but it's the veteran experience and his ability to execute in this game that the reason they won. So hats off to him for executing a bunt, setting up 2 runs, and getting the big two-run homer.
It's funny how it worked in this series. You look at game 1, it was Perez behind the plate who contributed in so many ways. And then you look in game 3, and it's the veteran Coco Crisp. Yeah, Cal, excellent point on the sacrifice bunt, which was huge, and then unloading the 2-run homer. Our final score here at Fenway: Cleveland Indians 4, Boston Red Sox 3. For Ron Darling and Cal Ripken, Sam Ryan, the rest of our crew, this is Ernie Johnson bidding you a good night from Boston. And we invite you to stay tuned for the postseason show on TBS presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. TBS, your exclusive home for the American League postseason. It'll be the ALCS starting Friday in Cleveland here on TBS. Good night, everybody, from Boston.